We've been dropping a lot of high-level keys. This next speaker and entrepreneur is a super high-level genius, as they all are that are coming here. And my brother Ty, he is a client, a mentor, a partner, an amazing human being and soul. And the stuff that he got cooking is amazing. The two things I really wanted to talk to him and why I wanted him to hear today, because we don't got a lot of time, I want to get right to it, is one, is he had a successful exit in a business. As a young Black man in America, to be able to build a business, multi-seven-figure business, and then be able to exit out of it and give it to another company that then they go and scale even bigger and go into the billions. This is real corporate top level executive stuff. And I really wanted to have someone to give us that perspective, because all of us as young entrepreneurs coming up, we still trying to figure out that first 100K. We still trying to figure out that first seven figures. But we never, almost never, especially in our community, never actually think about the exit. We actually never think about what's going to be next. How am I going to scale and get out? You get what I'm saying? So I want him to really start with giving him the background story of how he came up with the first company, how he sold that, and then kind of start going into the next phase, which is going to be community and what you're doing today.
Yep. Well, I appreciate it. And I mean, this is dope, bro. I really, man, it's so authentic and refreshing that you put this on in your home, with your people. And I'm truly honored. I definitely don't do this. But I'm honored to be here and just to share the room with y'all, because I totally understand how it is to want to just continue to grow your business and want to go somewhere and just learn and then take those tools and go out and apply them. So just for you being here, I can smell the food. So I'm going to be super, super quick. But yeah, but my name is Ty McMath. I was able to build and scale a company, and that company was able to, I was able to exit. And then that company was able to go, my wife and we built that, and they was able to sell it for 1.2 billion. I did all that. Yeah. Big B. I did that. Truly, when I started my company, Torch Fitness, I didn't have any connections. A lot of the people that worked for me had way more followers than me. To this day, I when I started, I didn't have any no loans, similar to what Burns was saying. I didn't have any investors. I didn't have any connections. I wasn't in the industry. I didn't go to one of the local schools and all those type of things. I really just kind of grinded my way up. And one of the strategies that I used was, I knew I didn't have much income, right? And so I needed to use somebody else's space in order to build the company. And for me, I was always an entrepreneur, and I had different companies before that failed. And so I knew I needed to do something that had kind of like a low overhead so I can scale it. And so I end up basically going into multifamily, which is apartments, and I would activate their spaces using these fitness programs. The only difference between me and anybody else, I would activate underused spaces, and I would charge the actual apartments. So I did not charge actual people, I would charge apartments. And that to me is a non-emotional money. I like that because I knew they had a budget. I would find out their budget, and I would charge each community a certain amount of money. Now, what was interesting about what I was doing was my competition was people that was actually doing it for free. Trainers was actually going into these apartments and kind of running these classes for free. And I would go in and say, hey, we can do more, right? We can have yoga, Zumba, Pilates, all this type of stuff, and we will charge you a certain amount. But the kicker is you're going to make money off of this as a developer or owner or a management company, because I'm only going to charge you $3 per door, and you can charge your residents $10 to $15 per door, because that's the value of the service that we're offering. And we're just going to do it at a lower value so you can get paid from the service. So you're paying me in advance, but you're going to charge on the back end. That ended up working. and we end up scaling that company into 26 different states when we finally sold. And then after, while we were with Valet Living, we end up scaling it to 1.2 million doors. So yeah, we can continue.
So just to recap that, because that was very high level, what he did was he found out these apartment complexes, like Keeson lives in a nice condo. They might have a downstairs in they might have a gym somewhere in his thing, right? These places usually are unutilized, meaning there's no trainer in there training you, right? So what he did was he partnered with the developers of the building to say, I will place trainers in there to host spin classes, yoga classes, meditation, all that stuff. And he was able to get giant contracts with the developers across the nation that are doing this in every single city, building out these giant complexes and stuff. So that's the business model that he was able to scale to 26 cities and then be able to 26 states, excuse me, and then be able to exit to the company, the parent company that bought it, and then with their help was able to scale it to 1.2 million doors across the country.
Yeah.
So this is very, very important as far as how do you build a business model that's not out there. That's one of the main things that I took away from his story is that he was looking at it. Listen to what he said. He didn't have the money, he didn't have the relationships, but he saw the opportunity that no one else saw, right? There was the empty gym, and he's the only one that saw it, like, oh, we could make some money. You know what I'm saying? Like the trainers saw it, but they didn't see how the developers were gonna make money. He saw it from both the developer's perspective and the trainer's perspective and became the missing link. A lot of times we're not making money because we're looking at it from one perspective of the marketplace. So when we start to open up our way of thinking and looking at all perspectives in the marketplace, it gives you more entry points and opportunities to make money and to actually wow, impress, and elevate your status with other people around you.
And to your point too, and I think you mentioned it earlier, young man that was up here before us in Burns. What I did was just add value. So the developers, they had this beautiful space. They would charge, I mean, they would pay like 250,000, 500,000 to make this beautiful gym. And at max, they would have possibly 8% of the residents that actually use the gym. So it was an underused value. And so just by me coming in, I'm thinking about them and I'm saying, hey, we can activate your space, and not only in your community here, but we can simplify and duplicate this in all of your communities. And they end up taking us everywhere. People ask, how can you scale so fast? It's because we were offering this value, and that value was so amazing to the developers and the management company that everywhere that they went, they wanted us to come. And although competition started coming in, we had that trusted brand and that trusted product because we talked their language. We didn't look at ourselves as a gym in an apartment complex. We looked at ourselves as an added amenity. So we would talk to the residents just how they would talk to the residents. We would try to be in their type of uniform.
Hold up. You dropping bars. You dropping bars. Hold up. I want y'all to catch that. What he said was all the other trainers that weren't making money in the spaces were talking to them like what? Like trainers, like gym members, gym owners. They were talking to them from, oh, I need you so you could give me clients. This is what I do to make money with my clients today. I don't think like a customer. I think like they think, and then I give them what I think and know that they need for the problem they have at their level. So I'm not talking to them from, hey, can I do your digital marketing? Can I do this? Can I do this? No. I'm saying, yo, I see you already making a lot of money, bro. You killing it right now. I think if I add this one little piece to it, we could double it. Would that work? Can I do that for you? And let's just test it. Boom. Opportunity just came in because I'm thinking like him. I'm not thinking like them. You see what I'm saying? Start thinking like your customer is the biggest, highest value. Who's the biggest in your business, in your industry, in your market? And then think, what are the problems they're having? Because a lot of times the way you scale to a business like this and you get to multiple cities and states and all that type of stuff is because you thought of a process that's so simple. It's so simple that it could be replicated all across. And that is the really genius people take very hard and complex things and make them simple so that anyone can execute. So this is part of when you're talking about scaling and growing a community, growing a business, you have to think like who's the top tier of your community, because the top tier of your community, if you could solve their problems, you automatically solved everyone below those problems. So a lot of times we try to solve the problem from the bottom up. Oh, let me help the kid that got $1. Let me help him. Let me help the kid that got $100. But no, if you help the person that got $1 million, you automatically help the kid that got 100,000 on $100, because that person needs the most value. They need all your stuff. You see what I'm saying? So he thought about it from that perspective, where the developer had all the value. Now let me go and add value to them. They already put the money up. They already got the infrastructure. They already got the apartment with the tenants, but they're not monetizing and maximizing the opportunity. Let me go in and tell them how they could do that. Boom, quick check. Everybody has the opportunity in your industry to do the same play. You just got to be able to think about it large enough. All right.
And then another thing that I found out as I was doing it, I would go after the top building. So I would go to New York, and I wouldn't start at like the little apartments. I would go literally to the best, highest rent district, and I will offer my product. I did it in San Francisco. I did it in Vegas. I did it in London. I would go to the best place. I didn't start at the lowest one. I started at the best. I would grab them, and then I would say, hey, by the way, one place in New York, in Manhattan, they're using my service. And then they would do all the selling for me. A lot of times I see companies and solopreneurs, they start at what they feel comfortable talking to. I would go in these rooms. I wasn't from New York, and I would go in these rooms. I would tell them about my product, tell them what I did, and they would really do the selling for me. And the sales process was easier dealing with them than it was trying to get $300 from a personal training client, because I talked their language, they understood, and once those deals got done, I was able to use them as leverage. And I think that's just something that a lot of people, they might skip over, or they might go after a smaller deal. And I think you was talking about it earlier, like how people say, raise your price, raise your price, raise your price. A lot of times people are scared to do that, maybe for fear of rejection. But for me, it really worked. And once I saw that worked, that's all I targeted, was really high-end A communities. And so, and then just to even speed the conversation up, just so you guys know, a lot of people say, hey, well, how do you sell a company? How does this work? Well, I'll tell you, as I was in those buildings, I started learning and talking with the developers of the companies. And I would go on walks with them, and I would take them out to lunch. And I'm not in their business at all, nor did I ask them anything. I just wanted to talk with them, and I just wanted to learn. So I spent like 5 to 6 years. Once I started learning the big players, the people that built the Avalon, the people that built Atlanta Station, the people that built the Battery and all that type of stuff, I got to know them, and I would just go on walks with them, and I would tell them some of the things that I was going through. Hey, I'm having a problem scaling. What did you do when you had that? And I just built the relationship. And you'll be amazed how many people just want, at that level, sometimes people treat them as celebrities or whoever, and they just don't have normal conversations. So I started building those conversations, and they would tell me about my problems before I even saw them. So another guy was like, man, have you ever thought about either a strategic partnership or an exit? They mentioned that to me. I didn't even know about it. Then the next thing he said, well, I know you probably think about possibly selling to a fitness company, but have you ever thought about doing something in the amenity space? So by them giving me that idea, I was able to look at different companies that was in the amenity space that didn't have a fitness arm. And so I was able to add that huge value of fitness to a trash company. So imagine that. a fitness company sells to a trash company. And the reason that the reason that they purchased our company and wanted to acquire us is because we had the contracts, we had the states, we had the best buildings, we had the relationships. And the fitness part wasn't even really like, they was like, all right, it's cool, y'all do fitness. We can add that to our services. But it was the relationships, it was the clients we had, it was the states we was in, it was the people that we knew, and that's why they wanted to acquire our company. And so, yeah. So that's.
I want y'all to know, man, my guy, Me and him chopped it up like 2 weeks ago before I told him to come out here, and I told him like he gotta drop this game for people. He does not do this, guys. He's really a practitioner. Like everybody that I'm bringing here, if they really do this, like they don't be out here doing this. This is not what they do. I don't do this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we don't do this. We don't do masterminds. Like he's really building like how many square feet?
12,000 square feet.
He's
So,
building a
yeah.
12,000 square feet right now in the middle of construction. He took his time to come over here
Yeah.
to work with us. Like it's really,
Yeah.
really important for y'all to understand the value of what he's talking about, because I told him our people that look like us need to hear this.
Yeah.
They need to see you. Somebody who had a business just like us, that was coming from the bottom just like us, scaled 26 states, exit. Now he's here doing it again, 10 times bigger for the next round.
Yeah.
This is real investing, real growing, buying back the block, really taking over what we want to do as people.
Yep.
So when someone like this is in our presence, we got to really pay attention and tap in and take away those keys, however they fit to your lifestyle and where you at in your business right now. Because I promise you, it's very difficult for me. I've been on this journey for 10 plus years. And until I got to Atlanta and I was able to tap in with the people that I'm bringing to I had never seen this. I had never been around it personally, besides on YouTube watching them.
Yeah.
I have never been in the room like this. So when you have these opportunities, we got to make sure we listening to all these high level bars. So I know you got to go. The last thing I want to end with is tell us about the transition from you exited the company and then now you said, what gave you this idea, the new idea, the new passion, and you going all in on it. So I want you to tell about like that transition of I built this thing, I got the exit, but then what do you do?
Yeah. Well, I would say this too. A lot of times we have goals and we write them down. I remember I wrote down my financial goal, and the unfortunate part is I hit it. And then after that, I didn't know what to do. I really didn't. I sold the company. My wife was straight. I was straight. Then we helped them sell it again. We got paid again. And like the crazy part is I really felt unfulfilled. It was probably the most depressed time of my life.
Wow.
Because I had set this goal and I thought, they're like, hey man, if I hit this amount of money, I remember when we sold our company and I saw the money hit my account. I didn't even know how they would wire the money. Like for real, I didn't even know how that happens. Like, and I didn't want to ask them, like, you know what I mean? Like, so we're going through the negotiations for 2 weeks and I'm talking, and I know at some point I'm going to be a multimillionaire. Like we were already doing over 350, 500 grand a month. But at some point I'm going to have in my account this large sum of money that I've never seen in my life. And I didn't even know how they would send it. And so
do you send that regularly?
No, I was like, man, do I have to open another bank account? Is it a special like
a private banker?
Yeah, I didn't know how it worked. And so I remember when it hit, and me and my wife, we take pictures and we do all that. And then it was like a year later. So we did everything. We went to Italy for a month. We traveled the world, blah, blah, blah. All these things. Give my mom this, do this. And about 2 years go, and I'm walking through my neighborhood every day. I have the gate. Diddy's house is right here. Tyler Perry's house is right here. Steve Harvey's house. I'm doing the whole thing. And I'm walking through my neighborhood and I'm like, man, I'm not happy. Not happy.
That's wild.
I was not happy. I truly was not happy. And that's because my purpose, I was not aligned with my purpose. I wasn't aligned with like the true essence of who I am. The true essence of actually who I am is I like to create opportunities. I like to go in and see an opportunity and make it better, add value to people. And what all I was doing was really, they'd have me on a conference call. They'd like take me down from the mantle. Hey, this is Ty. This is what he do. They'll show me off and then I would go back, and I wasn't feeling fulfilled. And so I started talking to my mentors and I was like, hey, I really see an opportunity in the market again. I see that there's more talent in the fitness world than there are jobs or an opportunity. And what I mean by that is when I first started in fitness, the trainer was either an old coach, an old athlete, something like that. You know, now as I was continuing to grow, there was spin instructors that were doctors during the day. There was yoga instructors that was like exercise science major, or marketing majors that was like these boot camp guys. And I started noticing that these fitness professionals, they were stars. They were like, I would follow some, whether it was Mr. 2 Weeks Out or Guru Abs. These guys are stars, and a lot of times they don't have an opportunity. They're just online, and unfortunately, they're giving away a lot of the gyms or their workouts or whatever they're doing. And so I was talking to a couple of my mentors. I was like, hey, I want to build a space that we can create content, help them build an app, tech, also give them a place for business development. So we are building at the Union on the East Side Trail of the Beltline, a fitness WeWork, a fitness gathering spot. And what that is that allows any fitness pro to come in and run a spin class, run a yoga class, build a business, even if they need help scaling their business or getting into retail or owning their property. So right now, it's 12,000 square feet, as Chris was saying, and we are the largest Black-owned business on the Beltline. Largest Black-owned on the Beltline. And when you think about the Beltline, it's 2 million people that's coming through there a month. The income is crazy, you know, and we want to be able to, it was important for me to pick a location that was what I felt was like an opportunity. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people that build businesses all over the city, and shouts out to them. But I wanted to build one in what I felt like was one of the major places where we can have an impact. And we want to have those doors open where we build all these different type of communities. We have a tech platform that looks like Peloton in the mirror that we created. My digital guy, he used to work for Spanx. He looks just like us. My CEO, my COO is just like us. But you know, we created this basically we call it PAC, and it's a mirror Peloton, if you guys are familiar with Peloton. But the only difference is we do a revenue share with our fitness professionals. So they get money every time they're on that screen.
So it's more like Spotify versus the way Apple was. Like he's doing the title. He's doing title now. He's giving more equity to the trainers and more equity to the fitness professionals that are going into the places. He's creating opportunities for them to be able to make money with him from the contracts he already has in place.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So he already got all the tenants. He already got the gyms. Now, if you want to go in there and train with his peoples, now we can make money together.
Yeah.
So it's a whole revolutionary concept in the fitness space that he's bringing. And we're lucky and blessed to have him here with us in the building, as well as right in our hometown in Atlanta, in the heart of the city.
Yeah.
What he's just watching him, working with him for the last year, we've been building, and the level of drive and consistency and on it, and like he's always on it, and like he's always checking my story, I'm always checking his story. Like this is what it's about, being in the mastermind. It's like I'm nowhere near where my man's is at. You know what I'm saying? Like he's on a whole nother level of business success. But at the same time, in my mind, I'm competing with him. In my mind, I gotta get to the same bag like him, and I gotta show him the things that I'm learning, so he can run it up bigger for all of us.
Yeah.
So this is really the point of a mastermind. Is like you might feel uncomfortable because I made $1,000 last week. I don't know how I'm going to be able to scale to $150,000 a month. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's really not who, it's really how.
Yeah.
It's really not how, it's really who.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Stop thinking about how you are going to do it and start thinking who's already doing it.
Yep.
And get in those rooms and watch it happen to you by accident. Like he said, he was around the guys that has had successful exits, had successful businesses, and they just dropped the gem on him.
Yeah.
Here, what, you want to exit? Oh, don't do it to the gyms. Do it to an amenities company. A garbage company bought his fitness company.
Yeah. And they told me, just so you know too, like I would go through negotiations and then I would go call and say, hey, what type of multiple do you think I should go for? And I would ask people that didn't look like me, that didn't, you know what I mean? I would just want to know. And I found out like, hey, if you can get something from a 3 to 6 times multiple, that's where you want to hit. Mm-hmm. I had no idea how that would work. Like, do they just look at your bank account, what you did for the year, and then multiply it? And so I learned all that language as I was in negotiations and as I was going, and I would just go back. They would tell me something, then I would go. And then we end up selling for a 6-time multiple, which broke a record in our industry. Yeah.
Broke a record in the industry.
Yeah, it set a trend. So, I mean, and even now, I would like to say this because I hear what you're saying, but for me, I have to learn new things now. And so that's why this relationship was so powerful for me, because I appreciate what you're saying, but in all actuality, he has to give me pep talks. And I'm like, all right, bro, how does this whole thing work? Because I never was in the digital side. I never did any of this. My focus was, I was so laser focused on what I was doing and who I was selling to that I really never talked to anybody else. I was talking to the same person over and over again, doing those deals. So I had to get outside of my comfort zone and meet new people and learn new skills and try new things, because this new, what we're building with the union will require a new me. It's going to require a better me, a more educated me, a deeper focused me, you know. And in order for me to hit these goals, I know I need people in my corner the same way I needed people in my corner when I was negotiating that deal. Is the same way I need people in my corner as I continue to build this company.
How would you say when you're trying to build something, right? And you have this idea, like, now you're doing what you're doing, you have an idea and you're able to sell that idea to really high level people.
Yes.
And it's not even fully built out. How do you do that?
Oh, that's good. Well, I think certain things that you have innate in you are natural, just natural. Like, I'm passionate, and I was, to Chris's point, I basically was selling our digital product. I'm not a tech guy at all. 0% tech. 0%. I'm telling you. And so I was able to sell our tech platform, this kiosk, into the top building in Atlanta. The rents, the top apartment in Atlanta. The rents are $30,000 a month. It's called 99 West Paces. Wow. The owners of this were so detailed, they literally designed every single part of the building. The owners was there every day. And so to sell my tech platform that hasn't even been launched, I couldn't even physically show them, you know what I mean? They couldn't even touch it. But what I did was I sold them the vision, and I showed them the results that they will have, and I showed them how people would feel by having it. You want this to be exclusive. You want this to be customized. You want this to be different than your competition. You want my product in there. And because I have confidence where I know if I can't figure it out, I'm going to find the person that can figure it out. And I'm going to, not only once I find them, we're going to work all day until we get it right and get the results. So it was easy for me because I understood what my client end results needed to be.
We talked about that yesterday, right? We said we're selling the outcome, not the steps in the outcome. Yeah. A lot of times business owners are stuck selling what they're doing for their customers and not selling what the outcome for the customer is going to be. You will instantly be able to charge more and make more money as soon as you start selling the outcome. He's doing this at millions and millions of levels above, as far as listen to the words he chose to say. I am selling to them the vision. I am selling to them what the benefits for them are. I am selling to them how they're gonna feel, the tenants are gonna feel coming to their amenities because they got a spin shop in their building, how they feel. So that $30,000 client, you gotta understand that that's a $30,000 client for that developer, right? Every single month they gotta pay $30,000. They gotta please that person of $30,000. If everybody else paying $2,000, you better be getting some crazy shit for $30K a month. You get what I'm saying? So this is part of that. This is part of that experience that he was able to convince them to say, hey, look, you was already going to charge 30. Might as well put me in there. Yeah. Might as well throw my amenities in there. That's just an extra bang for you, an extra bonus.
Yeah.
So this is very important of understanding that if you're not selling that vision, that outcome, those feelings coming back to your passion, your story, if you're not telling your problems, listen to what he said. He's all of us at the top level are completely transparent because he would appreciate me more telling him I don't know something and I'd rather bring my other boy who knows something into it than me telling him I know it and I know I can't get it done. That's gonna burn the relationship. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference. I want to clarify a difference there. You can say like, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but there's been many times that I'm selling myself as an entrepreneur and I'm saying, like I said, I saw my first 20K. I was like 20K. That was the first time. You know what I'm saying? Then I was like second time and I felt more comfortable. I'm more confident. But the first time it felt like imposter syndrome. It felt like I don't know what I could do. I don't know. I'm not confident. I was scared, all this type of stuff, right? But when I did it and then they told me, you didn't even charge me enough. I was like, hold up. The confidence level and the buildup, it's all in your mind. It's all in your head. As soon as you start clarifying what you want, the money you want, and how you're going to get it, it's actually way simpler than we make it in our head. Because when you simplify the vision for your end goal customer and you show them how it's going to make their customers feel, like that's literally everything he said is how I get my clients. I don't sell them. I say, hey, big influencer, do you look? First of all, here's what you're missing, and here's what I'm going to just give to you. I'm going to just give it to you. Just take it. Second of all, this is what I want to do for your customers that is going to revolutionize their life. And this is why you should be doing business with me. And I'm going to make money with you when we make money with them. And they're only going to pay us when we help them make money. So everybody eats. You see what I'm saying? You have to figure out situations now, and consciousness in business has gone up to a level where everybody pocket watching now. Everybody look, oh, he got this, he got that. How much you got in the deal? Me and my girl was talking about it the other day. You gave somebody, let us say it's a $5 deal, and I saved $5 and you made $5. But I could have saved $10 if you didn't make your $5, right? People will be mad. How you make $5? How you do it off the deal? You could have just let me get the 10. No, this is real life business. And when you get to the highest levels of real life business, everybody's completely comfortable telling you, listen, I'm killing it with this, this, and this. I am not killing it with this, this, and this. Can you help? Yay or nay? Because if you help with this, we running it up again. You help with that, we running it up again. Everybody's very transparent. CJ's very transparent. Ty's very transparent. All my clients that are very, very successful, they are all super transparent because at the end of the day, they're just like us. They're just humans, and they don't have people to tell these problems to that can actually think with them at that same level, because everybody else is stuck thinking of them as they got the answer. They got the answer. I got the answer. I don't have all the answers. He don't got all the answers. Nobody got all the answers. The answer is being the answer to each other, as my brother Daniel Dickey would say. We are the answer to each other's prayers. But too many times we're stuck thinking about, oh, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it by myself? All that stuff. No. Queen Cat right here, she's an operations manager. She's an operations expert. So now she don't got to go out and try to figure out how to get all these contracts. I got to do all this stuff. Just tap in with Ty. Now Ty needs support. You got support. Everybody's winning. You see what I'm saying? This is really, when you start getting to the highest levels, it's not about money. It's about the relationship and the skill level that you're bringing from your expertise to that relationship, because that's going to be valued 100x more than whatever tangible thing you're giving them. The tangible thing is inanimate. That's what we talked about yesterday, where that's a commodity. That's the Walmart $10 shirt. Everybody could do the Walmart $10 shirt. What makes you a $1,000 Gucci shirt? It's the intangibles. It's the vision. It's the feeling. It's all of those outcomes that raising in status. You see what I'm saying? So without further ado, my brother, I want you to just tell them where they can find you. You got something going on tomorrow night. We pulling up. The whole gang pulling up. We going in deep. We're going to go see his building. We're going to check out the whole vibe. This is literally, I really want y'all to like understand, like we could still be supportive of each other even when we big and even when we doing our own things. This brother is doing so much stuff and he's still supporting me. He's doing so much stuff. I want to support him. I want us to all go to we're going to do a tour of his facility, see the whole space, and really understand, like, when I see his space, I remember that I'm still too small. I still got to build my Disney World. This is my mini Disney World. He got a bigger Disney World. We all got to build our own. What is your Disney World? You feel me? So tell them what they could do to get tapped in.
Yeah. So I mean, on social media, it's just Do the Math Guy, and it's the Union Fitness. Tomorrow I'm hosting at our facility. It's called Tough Talks, the Union Fitness Tough Talks. So all it is, I wanted to have a place where people can come just like this and just share knowledge, share whatever they learn, share techniques, share systems. And especially in my world, a lot of times people don't have that access or, things like that. So we want to be able to do that via Tough Talks. And so I would love for everybody to come by, obviously, located right on the Beltline, right next to Two Urban Licks and Illuminarium. But I'm excited. And once again, thank you so much. I appreciate it,
man. Give it up for my brother Todd.
Hundreds of lives changed, hundreds of businesses evolved. That's Dreamway. Join the team.